In April, there's a big Armenian community in Philadelphia, and they have a march for simply recognition. One thing about the Holocaust is people recognize it occurred. The Turkish government still tries to act as if the murder of 1 to 1.5 million Armenians in 1915 simply never occurred. And, this is not a Republican or Democrat issue because some people vote. It really cuts across party lines. What would be your position on recognition of the Armenian genocide as a senator?
I think that to remember incidences of historical fact is an extremely important part for upholding truth and justice. And I would, as a senator, recognize and be a part of recognizing and remembering those kinds of incidences so that, for the purpose, we do not repeat it again. And the fact of the matter is, those kinds of things, whereas they are not of that magnitude yet. I mean, you're seeing things happening in Egypt with Coptic Christians and so forth. You're seeing a number of things happen across this world right now where it is only the beginning stages of what will end up in the same kind of thing, just because of the nature of man and the hatred that goes along with that. If the light is not shined, and if we do not stand up and bring attention to it, so. I am strongly in support of both remembering that and being a part of those who recall what happened and lend my voice and my heart and my mouth to supporting and remembering so that we do not repeat.
We only have a couple more minutes, and we have a caller on the line. Kate is on from Washington, D.C. right now.
Hello, this is Kate Nahapetian. I'm calling from the Armenian National Committee of America. Thank you for taking my question. The show had a segment on the Armenian Genocide just a couple of days ago, and I understand that you also feel very strongly about it. And as a man of faith, I wanted to know, what is your position on the Armenian Genocide? Would you allow foreign governments like Turkey to gag the United States and prohibit people from speaking about the Armenian Genocide, like our diplomats are currently prohibited from talking about it? And what would you do to help prevent genocide also in Sudan? Sudan is preventing foreign assistance from reaching South Kordofan right now, and that's an issue that's at the forefront that we care a lot about also. So wanted to get your positions on that.
Okay, well, Kate, thank you. Thank you much for that. First of all, I'll just state, like I said before, these are matters of fact and truth and historical reality are not things to be shoved under the rug, to be covered over, to be refused to be to talked about. And as a leader of the free world, the United States and those in it, the senators, congressmen, president, have an obligation to speak out in the defense of those who are downtrodden, those who are persecuted, those who are ultimately are involved in such things, horrendous things as genocide of all things. That to bring that to light, to make it known, and to do anything other than that, I think, is a relinquishing of duty and responsibility in regard to the sacredness of life, of all life. And so I would be very bold and clear to speak out wherever and whenever atrocities of that type occur, and to use my position, however it can be, whether it be for resolutions or however that would be to get passed, to raise the spectrum, to raise the attention to all of these where they occur. We just simply cannot allow these kinds of things to occur again. And unfortunately, there's evidences of attempts for that to be happening again as you speak, and that just cannot be done, and anyone uphold any kind of moral uprightness or moral truth.
Kate, did you want to just clarify the gag order, just because a lot of people don't know what that is, and maybe before Sam answers that part of the question, can you just talk about what you mean there? Just a lot of people are unfamiliar.
Yes, thank you. The Armenian Genocide happened during World War I, and at the time, U.S. diplomats actually risked their lives to document the crimes. But as Turkey became more important to U.S. interests, the position changed, and today it's to the point where U.S. diplomats, if they speak about the Armenian Genocide like Ambassador John Evans did a few years ago, they actually suffer negative consequences to the point of being pushed out and actually fired. So right now, because of the Turkish government, the U.S. government is not allowed to speak honestly about the Armenian Genocide. And when Congress tries to pass resolutions to commemorate this crime, the President Obama has actually opposed those efforts because the Turkish government tries to silence any discussion in the United States to the point of funding U.S. chairs at universities that will then also propagate the lies and propaganda of the Turkish government.
Kate, thanks for the call. And Sam, do you just want to answer that? And we only have another minute or two with you.
Yeah, I'll just answer that very quickly. That is the kind of thing where, again, referring to that a fact of history that occurred, if I were there, I would push and join the others that are trying to make that known. And that's the kind of thing that needs to be spoken out against by people in positions of authority in the U.S. Senate and in Congress, to speak out and speak against the president when he improperly squashes the revealing of the truth and limits the free speech of those who are in positions who ought to speak and recognize that. Because if we don't recall that which has happened, we're going to repeat it again, and that just cannot happen.
Would you, as a senator, co-sponsor resolutions?
Yes, I would. Okay. Absolutely.
Sam, I have two questions. One of interest to a limited audience, and two, the second I'm going to ask you is of interest to a lot of people and not being talked about. The first, we talked about your support for Armenian genocide recognition, and it was my fault at host. I never asked you. Would you support the Restoration of Churches bill?
Yes, I absolutely will. I think that's a natural, logical adjunct of that support, and yes, I am.
I figured you would. I just forgot to ask the question when you were on previously.
We actually do have a listenership among the Armenian community, so we're sensitive to these issues.
Well, I mean, we're shared. We share collectively. We share so many of these things. If we walk away, any one of us walk away from any sector of our people who have been downtrodden and are abused or persecuted, and do not take up their offense as our own, we all will lose our freedom. And that's what this is all about.